Hello, my biddies. How are you today? I'm okay. Promise I'm okay. I got work Sunday. My mother died. But we're estranged, so it affects my life not at all. And I'm actually kind of mad about it. Means I don't have to worry about working on a relationship with her anymore. Not that I was doing a whole heck of a lot of work on that. She literally just ghosted me. She called me, I think, once in my whole life. So that tells you anything. I called her a lot for a while, and then I stopped because I wasn't getting any answers. She never called back. Literally called me one time. But I found out that it wasn't only me she treated like that, so that made me feel a little bit better. My aunt called me on Sunday night. So that woke up with Lindsey Graham, ended with my mother. Oh, what started really well. Sunday started really well. Um, I had the boys over yesterday as usual. They did not have one fight yesterday. They were only here from like noon to 3. Um, or before noon. It was before noon. Might have been around. It was probably around 11, 10:45, 11 o'clock till noon, till 3. Um, and then my daughter came and got them and took them to the fair in the heat of the day. I'm like, are you crazy? She is. It's okay. um, what else is going on? Not much really. I have not much to report at all. That's about my whole life right now. Oh, we're having. So I was planning on having spaghetti and meatballs last night because last week when BW was here, asked him if he liked meatballs, and he says yes, I like meatballs. I said okay, we can have meatballs next week. What kind do you want? Thinking, do you want the gravy kind or the sweet and sour sauce kind? He says I want it with biscotti noodles. I'm like, okay, I can make spaghetti and meatballs. Not your grandpa's favorite, but it will do. So I got everything, and then she like, oh, by the way, I'm picking them up at 3. Like, what, girl? She says, "We can come over for dinner tomorrow." I'm like, "That's fine. We can do that." And then I asked my other daughter to come too, the other one that's in town. The These are the 2 daughters by my other mothers, but they're still my kids. Uh, my daughter's too busy taking exams. She says, "Can I use the excuse that my grandma died? Get out of exams." And my husband says, "Oh, I get 3 days extra days off of work." I mean, if you want to, that's fine. I don't care. It is truthful. It's not a lie. Uh, this crazy computer is backwards right now. I don't like it. I don't like it being backwards. What else? I guess that's it. That's all that's going on. My life is boring. Me life is be boring. How's your life? I hope it's more exciting than mine. Uh, so we're gonna start with a reality roundup of Bailing Out Loud, season 3, episode 8, a tasting of things to come. Let's just say it's not good. The tasting's not good. Uh, cold open for this episode is Balin and Beckner in a talking head, talking about Balin's favorite color. It's not a color, it's a body part, and everyone has one, if you get my drift. Everyone has her favorite color. Everyone. The real open is continuing the conversation where Colin wants to change wedding plans. He wants to give up his horse to get Balin her dresses, and that's so sweet. Balin is resistant, wants him to have his horse. She's willing to give up her dresses. This reminds me of that old story where um, Glass Menagerie, where the husband gets something for the wife. Sometimes told differently as a like he buys her a hairbrush and she and she cuts off all her hair. So for him to get him something. So it's very nice little thing that they're doing for each other. And I do have still that frog in my throat from drainage because it's summer. I drain in the winter and I drain in the summer. It's like I can't catch a break. Um, next we have back at the apartment, and Layla says they're having a great time staying with Balin and Colin, and thinks Balin deserves the world. That she also wants to see the horse. The bridal shower is the upcoming weekend, and Balin thinks something more is going on with Sammy because she just seems a little bit off. Next, we see Julie preparing for the bridal shower. She opens a box and vase is broken. Uh, since Sammy's not showing up until the day before the shower, which seems kind of sketch to me, Julie admits she didn't open everything as it came in like she was supposed to because now she's suddenly in charge. Sammy does seem a bit checked out, but maybe that's because she's distracted with the kids she's responsible for on the phone. She says she has too many things to do, and her mom tells her she does not have to come off as a raging bitch. So Sammy's been acting up, obviously. Sammy complains that people are offering to help. Like they're saying, "What can I do? Do you want me to come early?" And she does not appreciate this at all. It's weird. Like, yes, you want them to come early, especially if you're not going to be there until the day before. What time is set up? People need to be there. Trust me, it takes all hands to set up for a bridal shower. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt several times. Julie suggests having the bridesmaid come early to help set up. I'm surprised that they have not done that already because that's a normal thing for people to do. Sammy doesn't want that, and I am sorry, but Sammy is dumb. Julie hopes Sammy doesn't bring negative energy with her. Good luck with that, Julie. You kind of failed your kids a little bit here. Back at the apartment, Aiden, which is Layla's boyfriend and the other friend of Colin's, is going to cook chicken Alfredo for dinner. They moved to DC because he's a member of the Old Glory DC rugby team. I was unaware that there were professional rugby teams in the States. I knew that they had them elsewhere. And I knew that I probably should have known that because my son from another mother played rugby after college. So I should probably know that that was a possibility. I had no idea. I don't know who he was playing with. I just know it was not where we live. Valen said she's getting better in the kitchen, but she still can't use real knives or the oven. She stays away from the range when something is cooking. She needs one of those mandolins. I think that would do her really good because it's harder to cut yourself on one of those, especially if you use the. Uh, I have a little glove that I can use on mine, and when I forget the glove, I do like cut off the end of my fingers. Not bad. I mean, it bleeds because I bleed, but it's not bad. It clears up right away. She stays away from the range when something is cooking. She'll put it on there and then she'll back off, which is probably a good thing. Layla and Aiden do a talking head where they comment on how much more deliberate Balin has to be when cooking. Personally, she doesn't like the oven at all. Personally, I'd be much more concerned about the cooktop than the oven if I were in Balin's shoes. Because the oven's not going to jump out and bite you. You know, put things in the oven and they're in there, and you can go about your time until it comes out. You can even get the little devices that I want one that can pull the oven rack out for you. I want one of those. I'm constantly burning myself in the oven. I haven't cooked unless I burn myself, honestly, or ovened anyway. I haven't baked unless I burn myself. They do the dumb and inaccurate pasta sticking to the wall thing that I can't stand. Colin gets home, Layla announced that they found a place. They're moving out, and it's only 10 minutes away. Then Colin announces that he put in his application for his internship. The military allows people to do an internship for their last 6 months of enrollment. They discuss Balin starting all over again. And that happens a lot when you're that age. Um, and even later now, um, even later nowadays, because people switch jobs a lot. Sometimes they have to move for those. Making friends is hard. It's hard under normal. I have a hard time making friends. I don't know how to do it. They have to move 1 month after the wedding, so that's a lot of stress for 1 year. Balin wants to go to Myrtle Beach to scope out houses, and Balin seems very worried for herself, and that is completely understandable. Then we go to the venue for the tasting for the wedding. Colin says the venue arranged a private tasting. You mean like they do for everyone, Colin? Pretty sure that's a normal thing if the venue is also catering the wedding. They're not having a normal wedding dinner. They say they have kid palates. The hors d'oeuvres are mini fried chicken and waffles and mini grilled cheese, which they both liked. The mains are a pizza station where they only liked one pizza. The pizzas are barbecue chicken, caprese, and spinach caprese, a caprese pizza, and spinach and feta. They pick the tomatoes off of both pizzas, which you cannot do with caprese. That's part of the flavor, is the caprese. Colin won't even try the spinach pizza. Next is mac and cheese station with smoked Gouda with bacon, which actually looked kind of good, a cheddar fontina, and a truffle oil. I personally am not a big mac and cheese person. There's only one mac and cheese I've ever had that I've really liked, and it was at a dive gas station restaurant in Michigan. But that mac and cheese is really good. Uh, they liked the first two, and Colin actually liked all three, and the truffle oil one was his favorite, but Balin said the truffle oil one tastes like feet. She keeps mentioning chocolate truffles even after being told it's a mushroom and not chocolate. I mean, I understand the initial infusion if you're not a foodie and you don't know about truffles, because some people don't know about truffles. Um, but after you're told that no, not that truffle, not a chocolate truffle, then stop talking about chocolate. She takes her mac and cheese on the floor at one point and tears up her menu. The last station is a make your own street taco. To be honest, I would be so disappointed to go to such a venue and have this menu. This is a late night snack portion of food I'd expect. I mean, you can still have it, but have it as the snack in the evening, in the later night, because if you're having a good old time, you need a snack later on. They decided to not even have a pizza station. So that's even more disappointing because that's what I would have eaten. I told someone on Reddit they could sit by me and we'd order pizza. I said, come sit by me, we'll just order pizza and not eat none of this other junk. Because I don't want mac and cheese and they were street tacos. They weren't even like a big, nice taco like you get at Taco Bell. They were street tacos. So they're like half that size. Like, how many street tacos can I eat before I get sick? Colin announces he wants to buy a house in South Carolina. Being that he's going into realty, this is probably not a bad idea. He's stressing her out because she starts squeezing the glass. He takes it from her, saying he doesn't want her to cut her fingers off. She's worried about income, but Colin points out that he's still making his military salary while doing his internship. I mean, if he's going to do the internship and that, this would be the perfect time. She makes plenty of money off of her social media, to be honest. And they also have the show money. I hope they're socking away money. I don't think they are, but they should be. Julie's sister Lori is there to help with the bridal shower. They booked a room in the hotel so everyone could get ready there. That's a really smart idea. Smart idea because you get hot and sweaty and nasty putting together that stuff, especially in the South. I mean, yeah, it's winter, but still. um, it's a very smart idea if you can't set, especially if you can't set up the day before. Sammy took the previous day off and shows up and is disappointed that everything is still in boxes. Sammy, you are in charge of this. It's your duty to get them out of the boxes, ma'am. Julie says she's calling the grandmas and the bridesmaids. Good. Lynn, which is one of the grandmothers, I forget which one, says the whole thing is a clusterfuck. I love her. There's really not any organization at all. Like, Sammy did not think this through at all, and it wasn't Julie's responsibility to. Lynn brought an extra pair of scissors. She said TSA didn't see it, but it's in a little thing. It's not very big. They look perfectly legal to me. You can take scissors on a plane as long as they're less than 3 inches, I think, the pivot point. As long as your blade is less than 3 inches, perfectly legal to take on a plane. At least domestically in the U.S. Then there's a missing piece missing from a frame. So Julie's like, now we got to fix this so it's not going to be as big, type of thing. Sammy is like totally checked out of all of this. She says she's remaining calm, but Julie feels like she's dissociating. She does seem very complacent for someone who's supposed to be in charge. And next week, it looks like Sammy and Bay and Sammy are going to have a serious heart-to-heart. So that is all for Phelan right now. I mean, honestly, getting ready for a wedding, what can you do? How many episodes do we have getting ready for a wedding? But it's like all the shows, they're all like that. They all have their boring middle parts. I did not bring any. Oh yeah, I do have. These actually really help if you have a cough. They're just the peppermint lifesavers. The mental green does not work. It's got to be the peppermint. Oh, the hard way on 4th of July. So now I'm going to talk with food in my mouth. I hope you don't mind. So first up for Reddit reads, we have Petty Revenge, and is entitled "Good Luck Cutting Me Out of the Yearbook." This is an old story from high school, a bit of a backstory. Our yearbook came out midsummer due to certain near end of the year events that needed to qualify for state and regional awards. So everyone typically bought the yearbook at the start of the next school year for signatures. Seniors were out of luck and we all hated it. I forgot to submit an order form for my sophomore yearbook, so I didn't see it until the first week of my junior year when friends had me sign theirs. To my surprise, there was a picture of me playing piano in the talent show, along with a quote I definitely didn't and wouldn't give. It was something along the lines of, I was really nervous before going on stage, but then I heard the applause and it was all worth it. Not only did I think the fake quote was a little dorky even for me, but I was still very naive and believed strongly in truth and justice. I wasn't a cynic yet. So the lie of it all probably bothered me the most. The fact it was memorialized for posterity is just icing on the cake. If, like my classmates had gone to the yearbook a month before school started, I likely would have calmed down and just accepted it. I was generally a quiet, non-confrontational kid, but because I found out when I did it, I was able to immediately go talk to the yearbook advisor while I was still had my feelings about it. Feel your feels, people. Feel your feels. It's okay. It's because I have no feelings right now, because you don't have to. It doesn't bother me that I don't have feelings right now. I told the advisor it looked like she had students fabricating quotes. I hoped she'd reassure me that this wouldn't happen to me or anyone again, and she'd deal with the issue. Instead, she made it clear that she knew and approved because it was too hard and too much work to get quotes from teenagers. Oh, for freak's sake. Teenagers love to run their mouths. You just got to get the right one. As a parting shot, she told me, if you don't want to be quoted in the yearbook, don't worry about it. You won't be in it. Oh, that's rude. Okay, this person needs to be fired. I knew then there would never be another candid photo of me in my junior or senior yearbooks, and I was right. I realized I couldn't do anything about the candid photos without a big fight, that I might not win, and that might just make me look conceited. But I also knew she couldn't do anything about the post official photos. So I and my friends plotted to get me into every club photo possible. I was an involved kid, so for many clubs, I was already a member. My best friend keeps texting me. She knows I'm online right now. She's funny. She's probably on lunch. She'll stop in a minute. Some other clubs I helped occasionally for their events, but wasn't officially one of their members. Then there was the one whose advisors just didn't pay enough attention to notice an extra kid in the lineup, and whose member knew that I was doing and thought it was funny. I think I was in dozens of group club photos my last 2 years as senior of high school. And every time I made sure to wave at the yearbook advisor as I made my way to a seat in the bleachers, sometimes with the polite, "Hello, Mrs. X." It took a lot of joy every time I saw her looking at me. She just she just sucked a lemon. I like this. This is like, it didn't hurt anyone, and you showed her. She was awful. She should never said that to a student. That's just rude. She should have never done it as an advisor. You don't do things. Kids are allowed to be upset about stuff, especially when you lie. So stop lying. Home selection is the top rated comment, and they say, my senior year I had a form pass around to list your clubs and extracurricular activities. I did none. I was a reject skateboarder. I listed varsity basketball, baseball, soccer, football, chess club, math club, etc. I swore to everything listed I could think of. It printed. My mom was so mad at me. Orange Boy said, I did the same thing to see if they'd check. Turns out I was a varsity cheerleader all 4 years in band and National Merit Scholarship and valedictorian. You could probably get away with that in a big school, but you're never getting away with that in the school I grew up in. Everybody knew everybody. Murky Tails, the second top rated comment, and said, had a religious symbol literally edited out of my high school yearbook photos because apparently they found it offensive. As I went to school with a bunch of rich kids, my lovely mother reminded them that my family had lawyers too, just like rich popular kids admin was so scared of upsetting. And if they ever pulled that crap again, they would have to edit every single warn crossed by the popular kids and others. We honestly didn't have a lawyer money to fight something so stupid, but they got the message and left me alone the following year. Not a huge win, but at least I didn't get more edited photos purchased from the family in the yearbook. My 20-year reunion is coming up. I have the necklace in question. If I bother attending, you know damn well I'm wearing my super upsetting jewelry. Not Anther said, guessing it was a pentacle. Murky Tail answers, it was actually an upside down cross I got as a bit of a gag gift. But after wearing it a few days, I found out it terrified Christians who were constantly bullying me and attacking me. It kept me mostly safe throughout the rest of high school since I thought I was a devil worshiper. When in reality, I appreciate the juxtaposition of their symbol of love being inverted, signifying I didn't believe that, disagreed with their crap beliefs. I went to church as a kid, and nothing these angels did exemplified the actions of their supposed beliefs. So yeah, if I can't have a cross, they can't have theirs. That sounds fair. Harry says, it could be reasonably argued as the cross of St. Peter is reported to be crucified upside down. Resistance answers, I do this. I live in a very bigoted area where many of the Christians are the exact opposite of how they portray themselves. I got an upside down cross as a necklace as a prize and a goth bath bomb once. I started wearing it to piss off the bigots. Then when they tried to shame them back for their lack of biblical knowledge. I mentioned St. Peter and tell them they need to remember that no one compares us to Jesus. Looks on their faces are priceless. The third, oh, that was a second, okay. Her top rated comment is nothing but mistakes, and they say, we are given a choice if we wanted a class pick in the yearbook. We all said yes. There was a fee for that. I honestly didn't remember how much it was, but we paid. Day of the photo, the teacher kept moving us around for the pick. Then he took a seat right in the center. When the yearbook came out, he was totally surprised by all the girls in the class. All of the guys were positioned way to the left and right sides of the group by the teacher were mysteriously cropped out. So I asked, do you think that was intentional? Bab says, that's gross. Urgent says, I was a yearbook advisor for 9 years, and JFC, the nonsense, the pettiness I had to put up with was unreal. Yearbook should go the way of the dodo. They are nothing but a source of contention, legal vulnerability, and a huge PETA. I don't think it has to be all that political. Just do a nice job. Include everybody that you can. That's all you need to do. Stop being petty about it. Next is from Am I Overreacting and is entitled Am I Overreacting? And there are texts. No more food in my car and future cleanup after. I didn't see them 16 crisps. I cleaned everything else I saw. How could you not see that? And they complained that they didn't say they were sorry, which, I mean, that's legit. Gonna cry over some crisps with 16 crisps. How do we know that? I look like a lot more than 16. There was already stuff on the floor and you're acting as if your car just got cleaned. It's 16 crisps. Want a tissue? Don't even think about sending your paragraphs. I ain't reading them. It's a waste of your time. Be petty about it because I understand and apologize if your car was already cleaned. The amount of times you come up to mine and not tidied up, I've never moaned. You can walk in the future, you can't own it and be like, my bad, it's crazy. How winging rude can one be with the excuse because it wasn't clean? It's acceptable to allow all that mess in the first place and just throw your crap on the floor. I don't come to your house and throw my rubbish on your floor like some tramp. I've always been asked where's your bin, etc. But cool, you can stay the wing away from my car with your trampy behaviors. Trampy behavior, 16 crisps on your floor. I'll be more cleaner than you'll ever be, LOL, about trampy behaviors. All right, we'll see if anyone agrees. I mean, honestly, how could you not see it? It looks like it's Taco Bell crisp, which I see because they also have like sugar and cinnamon on them. Yeah, how could you not see that? I'm sorry. I'm kind of with the guy complaining about his car being trashed. I was out with my sister all day today and her little one. She left and got all of her stuff and went on her way. As I got home, locked the door, and I walked past the window, I noticed all this mess. I sent her pictures and said the food is now banned in my car. I mean, it's your car, you can do that. It was already, but she's ignored that. And next time to clean up after herself instead of a simple sorry, my bad. She's gone crazy if it's my fault. I think it's okay because I haven't vacuumed the car this week. So my question is, am I the a-hole for even bringing this up in the first place? Am I wrong? I guess they were twirly chips and they weren't somebody said they looked like raw pasta. Uh she clarifies they were twirly potato chips. Not she's calling them crisp because she's from the UK. Choreographed says it's a top rate comment. They say, nah, dude, stick to your guns. I'd be pissed off if that were my car. Your sister's unbearable. What is her session with 16 crisps? As if that's a small or even normal amount to drop on the floor. Yeah, I mean, how much is a serving? Requilium says, in America, that's a whole personal bag. Not a man says that's a full serving for sure. Coyote says, why is she acting like 16 Chris is an idea? 1 or 2 fine, but 16, she's crazy. Make her walk. She sounds like she lives like a pig, to be honest, but if she thought this wasn't an issue. And they add ew. Peach Bunny says she took the time to count each crisp in the photo, but couldn't take the same amount of time to clean them out of the car. Right? Natural Compote was the one that said those are crisps. I thought it was cooked pasta. Somebody else agreed with me that it looked like it was Taco Bell. Next, I have entitled people. My dad's girlfriend thinks I have my monthly lady times to spite her. What? Okay, warning, if you talk of menstruation, it's gross. It's not graphic, but it's in there, so. I'm gonna be so honest, I'm so heated. If I make a spelling mistake, my bad. I'm rage typing right now. And then they put LOL. That's not funny. A lot of my friends who I'd vent to are night shift workers, so now I'm not gonna wake them anyway. I went on a short holiday for Father's Day with my family, and I've been having issues with him because he's dating an actual demon. It's awful, but that's another story. Anyway, she says again, boys, but it's like again. I mean, even women can think it's gross. Again, boys, if you think periods are gross, please flee the scene. I have a heavy flow, and when she's here, she's really here. If you know, you know. I know. I understand exactly what you're saying. And obviously, when Auntie Flo's in town, I'm not having the best time ever. Sadly, she currently is. So I stayed at my grandparents' place because Grandpa only has so long left, and we were doing a family thing. And it was on my period. It showed up because duh, and I unfortunately left stain on the sheets I was sleeping in. Granny didn't care, but my dad's beloved demon spawn of a girlfriend bought bed sheets that brought the bed sheets that were in the laundry room into the living room on Father's Day to shame me for being gross. She tried to embarrass me. Such a sweetheart. Something you can't really always control. Sometimes you have overflow, especially if you sleep really good. It happens. It comes out most of the time. Anyway, Granny went nuts, kicking her and my dad out. They are both banned from everything. Green flags for the Granny. Green flags for Granny. Granny's got it going on. I'll maybe come back if he writes an authentic apology note and dumps her. But he's a loser, so I doubt it. Why opposed to entitled people? Oh, because she told my grandma my period in my granny's house. Told my grandma I had my period in granny's house to spite her for her menopause, and that I was taunting her and trying to mock her for her infertility. Dude, I can't. That's gotta be, nobody's this dumb. This has gotta be just rage bait, 'cause nobody's that dumb. I swear you guys, I'm not exaggerating or making this up. That was legit what she said. Like, can you tell the period fairy to shut it off, please? I will gladly co-sign. I hear you, girl. Menopause is like awesome. So just keep that in your mind. Menopause is awesome. Menopause is awesome. Why are you checking my bed sheets when we're both grown adults and not sharing a room, weirdo? Yeah, why is she in that room even? Another random chat says, well done, Granny. And OP says she's a baddie. Organic Star says, give her hug and kudos from this internet stranger. Me too. Kaleidoscope says, and my axe. Second top-rated comment is outside leak. L-E-E-K. Not L-E-A-K. Not L-E-A-K. I'm so jealous you have the power to control the timing of ant flow. Tongue in cheek. That lady is cray cray. Sorry for the horrible periods I've been here. This is, seems like a real person. I can't. Like, nobody's that dumb. How dumb is this girlfriend? If it's true, how dumb is this girlfriend? OP answers, I know. I was like, how you lived your whole life as a cis woman and you think you can pick and choose. So Fire Weather says, well, she's right. Hundreds of thousands of years of mammalian evolution was all for the goal of annoying her because you get attention. due to her. Yeah. Like if she hadn't brought attention to the issue, no attention would have been given. That was wild. Next, we have murder by words. If only people with at least four grandparents born in America were voting. Ann Coulter says if only people with at least four grandparents born in America were voting, Trump would win in a 50-state landslide. I don't think so. And Fullsong says this would mean none of Trump's kids could vote, and Trump couldn't vote either. Shiny Argument says, as usual, Republicans overestimate how much pull they actually have. Four grandparents doesn't necessarily mean white and conservative. You know, all four of my grandparents were born here. All 8 of my great-grandparents were born here. Where are we at? I'm not voting for Trump, dude. Ever. Don't even with me. Amalthea says, this is what I came for her. All 4 of my grandparents were born in America. And while I am white, I am also a full-on liberal with extreme hatred of the orange man baby. She got a couple of awards, which she thanked people for. And, well, actually, I don't know if all of my sister's grandparents were born in America. I honestly don't know. I don't do their genealogy, only my mine. Outrageous Fanny says, do these people ever think before tweeting? No. A list of things I hate says, I don't think they don't think, period. Red Queen says, they always seem to forget their real American gatekeeping standards, leave the family outside the gate. I had one the other day. Someone on Facebook posted that Muslims shouldn't be able to hold any office in America. I just quoted the Constitution. They got mad because I quoted the Constitution. Oh, this is not supposed to be. Or he took it down. Okay, I guess we're not having our 1-star review. I can't find it. I have the wrong thing. That does a lot of reviews. I was get your popular review more things on Google. So many 1-star reviews. This guy's a jerk. Like nobody deserves that many. He's a very unhappy person. This is the 3rd page of unhappy reviews. And I still haven't found the one I want. There we go. I found it. What's this jerk's name? Scott from Tempe, Arizona says of Biscayne National Park. Sadly, the Dante Fosco Center was in disarray last week, with all walking paths still closed due to construction, moving trucks blocking the roadway, and worse, completely non-functional toilets and accumulating waste. Without a doubt, the worst national park experience ever. I'm sure it'll be great when it's all done, but at this time, avoid. So you went there knowing it was closed. I had to have known it was closed. That was May 2022. So I'm sure it's better now. I know you 1-star reviews for things that um, are in progress. You know what I mean? Like that's work in progress. You don't 1-star review something for that. They can't control when things happen. And you're probably giving a 1-star review if they didn't because it wouldn't have been up to your standards. Next, we have traumatized him back and is entitled Overweight Classmate Wouldn't Stop Commenting on My Appearance. Back in high school, I was a pretty skinny kid. I was never super self conscious about it, but like any teenager, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin and I would prefer not to have my weight be a topic of conversation. There was a very overweight classmate of mine who would constantly tell me I looked anorexic, would tell me to just eat a burger, and say I looked just like skin and bones and so on. Why are we commenting on other people? I've never done this. I've never gone up to somebody and say, you need to lose weight or you need to eat a burger. Even if I thought it, there are some things we keep inside of our heads, people. You do not have to you do not have to exclamate every thought in your head. It does not have to come out of your every thought in your head does not have to come out of your mouth. Should always do it in front of other people, I guess, in an attempt to rally others against me. I let it go on for a while, but one day in front of everyone, I said, the next time you make a comment about my weight, I will make one about yours. She never made another comment about it again. Of course she didn't, because she was afraid of what you were going to say. Mundane zucchini is the top rated comment, and she says, body shaming from any direction is disgusting. I have a colleague who really wants to put on weight, and I think she may be worried I'd mock her because I'm fat. Instead, deeply sympathize because it's the other direction for me. She has no food interest, and I cannot shut the food noise up. OP says exactly, not to mention being underweight can be a result of cancer or other illnesses. You never know what someone is going through. Also, if someone drops a significant amount of weight in a relatively short amount of time, it's probably not a good idea to comment, even if you think you're doing it in a supportive way. You just never know the circumstances. Exactly. Lots of people drop weight when they're really sick. In general, people should just STFU about others' bodies, even if they mean well. Same with people commenting on others having tattoos or piercing, which isn't as bad, but man boomers love to try and make people uncomfortable about their choices in their parts. I don't like tattoos. I don't say anything about anyone's tattoos. Like, why would I? It's dumb. Global Ablaze says, as a former tall, gangly guy, it's always been like this. I have the metabolism of a hummingbird, so it's nearly impossible for me to gain weight or put muscle on. I was picked on for being a scrawny guy by the sporty kids, but now they're all mostly in terrible shape, and I'm basically the same size. Third typewriter comment is from DV Dragon Inn. Your comment is really so gracious. You didn't insult her. You simply told her the insult was coming if she kept up her insults. Yes, I agree. It's very, very kind of you to give her a warning. I'm sure comments about your appearance came from a place of being deeply insecure about her own. Hopefully, you made her realize that body shaming anyone is bad. I doubt it. Probably body shame somebody else that's not as smart, not as quick on their feet. Next, we have what should I do? And is the time my friends are refusing to pay for a vacation house I booked on my card. We have this all the time. I put a $3,000 beach villa on my credit card for an upcoming group trip after all my friends explicitly agreed to split the cost. That's when you get the money beforehand, ma'am. Get the money beforehand and then book. Okay, this is how much I think it's going to be. Give me the money so I can book it. It's been 3 weeks and 4 of them are completely ghosting my payment request, leaving me stuck in the massive charge on my upcoming statement. When I threatened to cancel the reservation, they got furious and accused me of ruining the vacation, arguing that I should just carry the balance since I have a stable job. I do not want to destroy my long-term friendships, but this debt is completely ruining my budget. Should I cancel the booking immediately, carry the debt, keep the peace, or give them one final strict deadline? Adult says your friends are the ones willing to throw away a long-term friendship, not you. Give them a deadline to pay you. After that, if they have not paid, cancel the booking. Fit Mathematician says, I would not give them a deadline. At this point, it's not going to be a fun time Just cancel and make other plans. Yeah. Just cancel. You can do something else. Would not water. Would or not water? Says strict deadline, then cancel. It sounds like they expect you to pay for the house, so be prepared to cancel. Fat Clover here says, and that deadline should be yesterday. Cancel to find new friends and stable careers. You become the midpoint of those around you. Surround yourself with better people to keep growing. And more Magic Mike answers, don't ask for permission just to cancel, just cancel. Intrepid Much says, cancel the booking. These friends are more than willing for you to handle their finances for this trip. You may as well save yourself the time and headache. Because what if you don't cancel and they don't pay you? What are you going to do then? You're never going to get the money from them. Don't worry about losing the friendships. If you go and they don't pay, the friendship's over anyway. In fact, I guess as they've been discussing all of this behind your back. Probably. How dare she with money not pay for us? Next, we have malicious compliance, and it is entitled Manager Math 3 times 3 isn't 9. One of my early jobs was in the screen department of a CRT factory. Here, various chemical mixes were dribbled, sprayed, or poured onto a screen. The front 4 inches of glass picture tube sloshed, spun, or otherwise spread, and then the excess was dumped or spun out and collected to be reclaimed, adjusted, or reused for the next batch. For one chemical, the official process was to top it off with new, mix it for 20 minutes, and then if it needed adjustment based on the viscosity measurement you took. After every adjustment, another 20 minutes of mixing before measuring again. This needed to be done before the previous batch ran out. We quickly learned that extra water was always needed, and you could fairly easily predict the size and the adjustment before measuring. Anything based on the pencil and graph paper of the previous test results. Our procedure became top off, add about 3 liters of water, depending on the graph results from the previous batches, mix, test, and send. This resulted in a mix that was near center spec every time. Until important manager with degree watched me do a mix and started ranting. You didn't measure, you're adding way too much water, and you should never add water unless the mix was out of spec. There's too much water and you're going to ruin the mix. Only add water when it's out of spec. Follow the procedure. Well, sir, it's always out of spec. I'm not going to waste time. I mean, I could. I asked if he was really asking me to add 9 liters of water every third tank. That is 3 liters of water every tank, he confirmed. I told him that this increased the risk of running dry and causing a batch of defects. He said, I'll take that risk, but you better not sandbag. Turns out the people who run the process can make it run fine, either thick or thin, but not when it changes from thick to thin every hour or two and then ramps back up to thick. Also turns out that if something goes even slightly wrong on the previous shift, they may not leave you 40 minutes of mix time and 10 minutes of measurement time before the previous tank goes dry. Edit. Manager was judged on parts produced and defect rate. Both were bad until we could go back to the old way. The good news is we were able to get a version of the smart way adopted as official. Well, that's good. We were now allowed to control the process using statistics, just like we were taught in our mandatory statistical process and control training. uh, Exercise was a fallout. It was on there. Informal act is a second top rate comment. They say, is that a long way of saying that manager got too much on a few cases of winged up product due to winging around with things he didn't understand? Altruistic poetry says that's my understanding. Big dick manager wanted to swing his big dick around, only to realize it wasn't that big. Battle Cat says, this reminds me of what my buddy, who was an Army vet, told me. Whenever he heard the top sergeant respond, sir, yes, sir, to an Osford, he knew he'd have to perform to that officer's specifications exactly. So the top sergeant would show the officer how he winged up. He also laughed as he told how certain officers caught on to the subtle signal and would say, on second thought, Sergeant, do what you usually do here. The sergeant would then cheerfully explain the tried and true way to get it done. This is a residential building in Shalovniak in Samaria, Russia. Everything Russian is evil, so especially nowadays with them stepping out of bounds. It has a lot of plainness. Not even any balconies. He says that Shalovnovek is the nickname Russians give it. Shalovnovek is compound word Shalovek, man, and Mironivik, anthill. So it's a mantail. Basically mantail. Portmanteau of human and anthill is not a specific building. It's a general Russian term for large residential buildings with minimal to no infrastructure. They started popping up mostly in the aughts. It's usually the cheapest city living experience. In reality, they almost always build in the outskirts because of land prices. Big, ugly, utilitarian, and no character. Someone claims it looks better now. So that pic. I guess it's a little better. At least it's painted. Form says, I was going to say where the wing is that I've lived next to there. Also, the angle in the OP makes it look much worse than it actually is. You can find plenty of this type of project housing with a nice coat of paint in New York City or LA. Yeah, it doesn't look that much. Although New York City or LA might have, well, at least New York City will probably have balcony if it was built in the aughts. Next is AITAH and is entitled, My ex-girlfriend has taken a new job 100 miles from home and is planning on commuting. AITAH for not changing my work arrangements to suit her. No, she's just a girlfriend. Basically, my ex-girlfriend and I separated 7 years ago. We have a daughter together, while I have 2 daughters from a previous relationship. We both moved on with our lives, and I'm due to marry in 18 months, and she got engaged last Christmas. And we have shared custody of our daughter 50-50. On the days I have my daughter, I have to collect and leave her school, and she would organize the other days, which means I would have to leave work on days and arrive late on days. Thankfully, my employer is very understanding and has accommodated my situation as long as hours are made up, which would involve me being available on weekends for emergencies. Not an ideal situation, but it works. Anyway, the ex has taken a job 100 miles away, and her plan is to commute daily. Oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. I would have my options on that, but not my monkey, not my circus. I have my opinions, sorry, not options. Okay. Anyway, the ex has taken up a job 100 miles away, and her plan is to commute, which is insane. I have my opinions on that, but not my monkey, not my circus. She had arranged for her dad to collect the daughter on her days, and what seems like a noble idea, a great solution. Reality has set in, and he finds his days are restricted, either collecting daughter or leaving to school, and the novelty has passed, and pretty much told her he won't be available as he promised. Now this leaves her pretty much up a crap creek, as she has no one else to call on to collect and leave school. She has asked me to work from home 3 to 4 days a week, which would allow her to continue her role 100 miles away and ensure her daughter is collected on time each day. This isn't an option for me, and telling her that I can't accept these changes. She's accusing me of clinging to the past, being bitter about the breakup, and doing my best to sabotage and stifle her career. AITAH. No, this is a situation that she decided on. She should have thought about this before she did that. Body Mix says none of this is a you problem. It's moronic to drive 200 miles a day. Also, FFS. Unlucky Classroom says even the IRS allows you to charge off 0.725 mile for uncompensated auto use for business purposes. This does not account for the 35% increase in gas prices so far this year. Mom is easily spending $125 a day commuting. That's not counting 4 to 5 hours of unpaid personal time being given away to her employment. I gather math wasn't Mom's best subject in high school. Patriot Fanatic says you can only write off mileage if it isn't your daily commute. That's true. Steve says the point is that it's a good estimate of the cost of traveling the distance. That number is relevant to consider whether it's worthwhile to commute or not. Exactly. um, Spirit says time for a formal custody agreement approved by a judge. Opie says I already have one in place. Change days to accommodate her job in November. Not a huge change in days, but change all the time. Mook says that one is no longer sufficient as things have changed. It would be up to her to petition the court, though, for a change. Yes, exactly. Opie says I've talked to my solicitor already, and she's advised that the court will be reluctant to amend the court order as there has been no change in the daughter's circumstances. This is a good way to get custody of your kid, dude. White Boy says, dude, you know well you are NTA here. It's an insanely ridiculous request. He is correct. Next, we have Neighbors from Hell, and this is titled, So This Just Happened Today. I ordered 2 rather inexpensive designer shirts from Japan to be shipped to the States via DHL. They were delivered yesterday, but I was on a trip and returning today. Upon arriving back at my home, I realized that the package was not there. I live in a safe neighborhood and package theft is not common, so my immediate inclination was that DHL left the packages at the wrong address. This was confirmed when I checked the delivery email and saw a photo of the package in front of my neighbor's gate. I don't know these neighbors well. They are 3 houses down. Why did they do this? and we really never gotten to know each other. After seeing the picture, I walked over to their house, and my packages were still there in front of their house, no dice. I looked around and didn't see them, so I rang the bell. No answer. The trash bin was on the street, and the lid was left open, and lo and behold, my packages, boxes fully ripped open and ripped up, sitting on top of the recycling bin waiting to be picked up. I walked closer to confirm, and sure enough, my name and address clearly printed on across the top of both the boxes. I grabbed them from the top of the open bin, and went back to ring the bell again. Again, no answer, so I tried the gate. It was open. So I walked up to the front walkway to the front door and knocked. I could see someone watching TV inside. At first, I ignored the knocking, but I knocked again, and the lady who was sitting there finally got up and came to the door. She answered, "Can I help you?" Which I replied, "Do you have my shirts? I would like them, please." I showed her the open boxes I was holding in my hand. She hesitated for a minute, like deer in headlights, and sheepishly, after a few seconds, says, oh, yes, okay, I see. I had ordered some clothes of my own. I thought they maybe just sent me the wrong items. I'll go get them now." She closes the door and disappears back to the house. A minute later, she returns with the 2 shirts I ordered. Well, that's good. She says, "Yeah, I was just going to donate them. Sorry about opening your packages. I didn't even look at the label or anything." I mean, that could be true. She handed me my shirts and I went on my way without making a fuss, but what BS. Mind you, her and her husband are also quite affluent. The houses in our neighborhood are multi-million-dollar homes. I know for that one the husband is an anesthesiologist. What has that got to do with the price of tea in China? Her manufactured story is insane. It's not. It happens all the time. Am I ready to believe that once she received packages and then didn't look at the shipping labels on either boxes? So sometimes I do that. I open things that were not sent to me. I get them, I open them up, and then I look. Which are all clearly marked by the designer of the shirts. She should have instantly known that she didn't order from this specific brand. I don't pay attention to brand. And 3, I was just going to donate these without looking at the box to see if they are her neighbors. She's definitely going to keep the clothes for herself and recycle the evidence. The boxes. They are designer shirts worth about $900. Some people are just really blowing my mind. You bought 2 shirts I'm sorry, what? $450 shirts, sir. I would keep them too. Somebody says, I hope you took a picture of your boxes in their trash, and he says he did. Top Value says, I'm glad you got them back. Yeah. She may be lying, but some people are just unobservant. And who needs $400 shirts? I'm judging that more than I'm judging the opening up the wrong box. Next is benign existence is entitled Destination Visit. My adult son lives halfway. I'm going to have another. I don't know why I'm coughing so much today. I may have to go back on the Flonase. My adult son lives halfway across the country with his beloved long-term girlfriend, who I would be glad to have as a daughter-in-law. Oh, that's so nice. They have good jobs at limited PTO, like most working people these days. He uses a significant chunk to see us and the rest of the family at Christmas and Thanksgiving, which we appreciate, but visits between are hard. We got out there, of course, but the closest airport to us is not even that close and tremendous hassle. The airport is quite convenient. So we hit the idea of a destination visit. We'll look for places within driving distance for us with an airport. Offered a choice of locations and dates, and they picked. We rented a Vrbo, and they booked flights for late Friday and late Sunday. We picked them up and have spent the weekend doing touristy things together without impacting their PTO. It's been lovely, and the best part was when our son started talking about future travels together. Having an adult child who likes to spend time with you is one of life's greatest blessings. That's lovely. I love it. I'm not even reading my comments because it's too lovely to mess up. It is nice when your kids want to see you. This is from Found Satan. It is entitled Brutal Honesty. Explain to children that they shouldn't worry about a career because the world will be completely unlivable in 15 years, and that death will be a sweet relief from living in a nuclear wasteland. It's probably the hardest part of working at Build-A-Bear. Wow. Remind me of my enjoyable yet brief career as a janitor in a children's hospital. Nolo says, I'm taking life advice from the guy working at Build-A-Bear. 10-year-old me. Yeah, don't do that, dude. Don't traumatize children. There's no reason for it. They'll learn when they get bigger. Let them have their childhood. This is from Just No Mel and is entitled, This Was Weird, Right? Mother-in-law is not allowed to see our son because she refuses to get the vaccines we request. Our rule was that nobody could see him until he was vaccinated unless they got vaccines themselves. It was a joint decision, but DH and I, naturally mother-in-law, blamed me 100% for keeping the baby from her. So today I dropped off husband at her house to help her with a quick tech problem. I was waiting in the car with the baby. While he was distracted looking at her laptop, she came outside, walked around the car to the baby's door, and tried to pull it open. I saw her at the last moment and instinctively locked all the car doors as she was reaching for the door handle. She must have heard the loud click. She just turned after trying to open it and went back in. Husband came running out in a moment later in a panic because he realized what happened. A funny ending, at least. Watch what happens as grocer husband can help her on his own. He was helping her on his own. Educational Pop says you shouldn't sit in the car with the doors unlocked anyway. Chupacabra Coffin says, I swear it's like this age group of women can't control themselves. Yes, we can. They choose not to, but we can. And there's a argument about what age women we're talking about. We can control ourselves. A lot of us choose not to for some reason. I don't know why. And yes, I am over 50. Next we have I Met the Jerk and is entitled AITJ for not splitting the Airbnb refund equally after I was the only one who did all the work to get it. No. My 3 friends and I, because she said me and my 3 friends, and I can't stand that, picked an Airbnb for a long weekend in Porto back in April. When we got to the place, had a bunch of issues, broken AC. One of the bathrooms was basically unusable, and the photos were clearly from like 5 years ago because the whole kitchen looked nothing like what's listed. Maybe it was the wrong place. Sorry. Everyone was annoyed, but nobody wanted to deal with it. I spent probably 2 hours total over the trip, documenting everything, messaging the host, filing the claim through Airbnb support, going back and forth, sending photos. My friends were literally at the pool while I was doing all of this. I got a partial refund of $80 about a week after we got back. I kept 90 and split the other 93 ways. Between the other 3, they each got $30. That seems fair. One of them said it wasn't fair and the refund should have been split 4 ways equally so we'd each get 45. I told her I did all the work to actually get that money and no one else lifted a finger. She said, we all experienced a bad apartment, so why didn't you try and help? As if that was an argument. I guess we all experienced it, but only one of us spent hours actually doing something about it. I had the extra cash because I do quick live streams, so I could have just let the whole thing go, but that's not really the point, AITJ. Great Cloud said it was a partial refund that none of them would have gotten if you hadn't gotten the work. You had you done nothing, they would have gotten 0. However, we probably should discuss what your compensation should have been before dividing the money. If she got the money, then no, she doesn't. Mute Giraffe says, on the bright side, you won't be invited to travel with them anymore. Equal Time says, good news, you won't ever have to worry about fixing issues with the Airbnb again because you won't be invited next time and split one. Next, we have Signs of the Story. I'm not showing you what it says. No S in the pool, no effing in the pool, no wanging in the pool. Wanking, sorry. No BHA in the pool. Food is to be treated as a public pool. If any person will have their membership revoked. STIs live in water for 10 days. Well, I mean, you're going to get those anyway, then, aren't you? I don't think that's true. And then there's something about your vajayjay. Dino Spaceman says if anything lives in that pool for pool water for 10 days, they need to get a new pool tech because they're not properly treating that water. Aggressive Plant says it's soaking allowed. Something was going on in the pool. Next we have expectation versus reality. What my sister showed the baker versus what we received. Birthday cake from my mom. And here's this cute little cake. Cute little cake. It's so cute. I want one. My daughter says she's going to make me a cake. That is not the same, ma'am. It is definitely not the same. I would be disappointed if I asked for that cute little cat cake and got that cute little cat picture. Yeah, not the same. Not even close to the same. Answers to the most frequent questions. We didn't order it online. My sister personally went to the bakery and showed them the inspo photo. Baker accepted, never said anything about not being able to do it. We ordered it like 2 weeks before the birthday. We've never ordered cake from a bakery before, so I wanted to have flexible time if she needed more to prepare. 3 days before picking it up, my sister called them and asked if everything is okay, and they remembered the inspiration. They confirmed. That's when you send it to them in an email. When I came to pick it up, the owner was nowhere to be seen, only a teenager behind the counter. I saw how it looked at the bakery, but whether it was so hot I was running late, I couldn't leave without a cake, so I just accepted it and did not ask for a discount. It for sure isn't someone else's order because flavor text on it, and well, cat is correct. I think they just wrote down cat cake and gave unclear information to somebody. It's not my mom's cat's very cute stock photo. Paid 160 Gelog tick, which is too cheap for inspo cake? Maybe? No. I mean, this cake should not have cost any more than that other cake. It's not that. It's not all that. This is a very easy thing. It's literally just frosting. I mean, yeah, it's literally just frosting. That'll tamp things down. If that's just, I think they just wrote cat cake and gave unclear instructions. I think that's what they mean. Clearly, if they're using this, oh, never mind. Of course, the result is not bad. My mom was very happy and it was delicious. I'd be mad. That's not even the same cake. It's not even in the same ballpark. The Sacred Ash says, whoa, that's not even close. Random Mess says, you must have eyes too. Rolling says, wow, that is the weakest attempt I've ever seen, maybe at anything. It's not a bad job what they did, but holy heck, it's not even the same universe as the request. Jacob says, it's a cake, it has a cat. I don't understand what everyone's talking about. /S. Second top right comment is I put a lot of effort in to get this all wrong. Midnight Travel says you should have shown an inspo pic to her guide dog. I hope it didn't spoil her birthday. Luckily, the mom never saw the inspiration. Next, we have our real estate segment, and this is from Brooklyn, New York. It's entitled, "Will Stat finally let go of the lease? It's your chance to buy this now." So, must be vampire themed, I'm guessing. It's $9.8 million, 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 5,280 square feet. 1,280 square feet. And there is your entrance. It has no windows on the side. What the heck? Why are there no windows on the side? I mean, it looks out into what's clearly a yard, and there's no windows at all. That's the way I would not. If you've seen my house, I have so many windows. Oh, I like the doorway. The door has a legitimate lion carving on it. It's very nice, dark, but nice. I like it. The white walls, ceiling, and the light wood floor kind of takes away from some of the darkness. I wouldn't want the floor to be as dark as the rest of it. Lovely fireplace. Lovely Noel post. Interesting banister. Oh, that's white. I painted this one white and it's just awful. Ceiling should be white. I have no problem with that, but the rest of it should be a different color. Oh, so much white. Oh my goodness. It looks like something my husband would have painted. He has the Shasta white thing that he likes to paint everything. I've finally gotten him out away from it. Right now he's painting the door to the house, repainting it. Colonial red is our front door color. Yeah, stuff on my screen all the time. See, with this wood, the whiteness looks terrible with that. It should not be white like that. That's slightly better. I do not like the curtains. I always like how they put the fake fire in there. I don't like that one either. What did they do to it? This has been painted, like really nice wood has been painted over in this house, and I hate it so much. A very white bathroom. Half bath, like half bath. Only the doors and some of the framing and the stairwell is not painted white, and the floors. No. Okay, now we have gray. We have a gray kitchen. I do not like it at all. How are we going to reach those? Okay, I'm short. And I hate this kitchen. I wouldn't be able to use the upper cabinets at all. I'd barely be able to use the lower ones, I think. Because they open up instead of out. Nope, don't like it a bit. I like the appliances. The appliances seem nice. There's 2 ovens separate from the cooktop, which I appreciate. Looks like a decent sized refrigerator. I'm hoping it's all refrigerator. Next to the stove. It's too close to the stove, though. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Mine's right next to the stove, too. But I didn't design mine. Okay. Still more white. It's so white. So freaking white. I don't think Lestat would do this. This is not a vampire house. Oh, we have some color. What the heck? The very light mauve, maybe? There's a window. There's a couple windows. Windows to the back. We know there's no windows on the side of the house. Windows on the side of the house that face the next building over. So it's just brick wall. Why? Why are we doing that? That's insanity. More white. It's got some interesting features in the ceiling in this bedroom. I like the doors, although they all seem short. Why are the doors so short? This looks fake. It's weird. The aspect ratio on that picture was weird. Another room with windows that face the other building, but not outside to the open space that you would like a view of. It's insane. More white, more white. Oh my God, there's so much white. I can't stand it. Oh, look, something that actually shows something other than the brick building next door. Has a nice basement. That basement's pretty nice. Has the original brick walls, which is cool. And there's flooring. And then there's another part of the basement that clearly is not finished, but why are there doorways? I'm so confused. We have a little area in the back. I have a little backyard. That's nice. It's all paved over. Is this also in the basement? Another kitchen area? At least it has a sink. 2-car garage. So that's nice. Now we have our drone shots. There's a foyer, living room, family room, dining area, and office. And a teeny tiny kitchen on the first. I'm assuming this is the first floor. The second floor has 2 living rooms, which is weird. A bigger kitchen, 2 bedrooms, a half bath. I don't know. Yeah, a half bath and a full bath. I don't know why you wouldn't put the bath between the bedrooms. And a little laundry closet. And you have your primary bedroom with a bath of the shower. Another 2 bedrooms and an office, another office, and another bedroom. There's 3 bedrooms, and they all share 1 bath with a tub. And the primary bedroom only has a shower. Like, not even a nice shower. The attic is just a huge space. The basement has a half bath, so that's nice. Storage basement, utility basement. You could really do something in the. Looks like it has a fireplace down there too. You could do stuff with that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pay that much money for it, especially the way it's set up with no windows on the one side. It's crazy. There's the listing. This was known as the John W. Shepherd House, which they completely ruined, in my opinion. It's completed in 1905. There's no way all that white. There's some nice wood under that white crap that they put on there. It's horrible what they did to this house. Occupying a rare 28 feet by 180-foot lot. Stained glass windows. Did I see any of those? I may have. I was distracted by all the damn white. 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 5 full bathrooms. There were at least 2. No, there's 2 half bathrooms. Yeah. Appliances included dishwasher. I guess you ain't getting anything else in that kitchen. There's a patio and porch. It features a balcony and a garden. It has views. Yeah, it has views of a ugly brick building. When it could have views of a lovely yard area. It's crazy. So it sold in 2020 for $700,000, and now they want $9.8 million. No, not after you ruined it like that. Property taxes are only $11,000 because it's way overpriced. It's so completely overpriced. It's ridiculous. That will probably come back up because they're probably going to lower the price on it. The increase was 18,066 square feet. $1,866 per square foot is the increase. That's crazy. Love is Just Chemical says, I don't think they'll get that. Somebody else says they will get it. This Real Zeal Man says, someone's gonna spend $2 million to fix that. Like, everything needs to be fixed. Admin says, I can't believe there's a property on this thread I'm familiar with. When I first saw the main picture, I felt nostalgic, and then the second confirmed my suspicion. I lived in the building to its left. The building was actually part of a church complex at one point. That was the men's rehabilitation or reentry home for a while. Interesting. I just lived next door twice. There's a house equally as beautiful across the street. Near the Pratt Institute. The odd shape is due to its removal from the other grounds. You can also tell from the huge garage setup that it was a more commercial building before. What I wouldn't do to move back there if I ever won the lottery and could afford it. The neighborhood is magical. User one says, maybe that's why the kitchen is so bad it was put in by a nonprofit for pure function, because otherwise it's making me raging Basie faultily mad. Is anybody going to complain about all the white? Because it's horrible. DJ Yeti says, you know what I love most? When I spend $10 million on a mansion and windows on a good number of rooms look straight at a brick wall 2 feet away. And he says, well, we don't like sunlight. It's bad for our complexion. Whoever painted that woodwork black should spend purgatory being forced to strip it all back off. What about the white? Everybody's complaining about the kitchen. I told you I didn't like the kitchen. Next to Server Life. Says, I just put on my 2-week notice and it feels so free. Walked in and saw the 86, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 things on one sticky note and 4 others, including no chips or dip. I walked in and saw this, and I'm over it. Every day there's some new crap. I'm moving back to a big city and working at a fine dining. Glittering list says we were 86 all pasta today. We're in an Italian restaurant. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Casanova says no one could run to a grocery store and take 10 minutes to boil some spaghetti. What's going on over there? I know Bruno says, what did you even serve then? And so many answers, contempt. Main Trust says, missed a golden opportunity to put your name on the 86 list. Yeah. Fist bumping Jesus says either the ordering manager is blind, stupid, or both blind and stupid, or you guys won't be open long enough for you to finish out your notice. Old Diver Willie said you'd be shocked how many places like this manage to stay open. OP says they do at least 1,000 in sales a shift. Wow. With that much stuff not available, I would be upset. I would be upset. Next, we have confession, and this is the title segment. I have a 4-month-old baby, and I regret becoming a mother. I'd always wanted to be a mother. It was my lifelong dream. I looked at my motherhood as my ultimate goal. I wanted a good relationship with my partner and baby. I couldn't wait to be pregnant and feel the glow everyone talked about. And I couldn't wait to have a cuddly baby with whom to snuggle and coo at. I know it'd be hard too, the sleepless nights, the crying, the overwhelm. I was so sure I was ready. My husband and I love each other. We were best friends before we had our baby and the happiest we'd ever been. Pregnancy was a nightmare. I was constantly ill, swollen, and in pain. I couldn't wait for it to be over, but I also felt an insane amount of guilt for how much I hated being pregnant and the fact that I felt no connection to the baby. A lot of people feel like that. Sometimes it goes away when the baby's born, sometimes it doesn't. My pregnancies were fine, but I can imagine having a miserable pregnancy is terrible. And you don't have to be happy about it. And I had my baby 4 months ago. It's been absolute hell on earth. My husband and I tried to share the load as equally as possible, but he works a lot more than I do. He takes care of me, but the distress I feel is inconsolable. My mother helps me, but I confess I've never been more unhappy. My baby's not calm or cuddly. I know babies cry. I know babies are hard, but even my primary doctor said she's especially difficult. She has severe reflux for the first 3 months of her life. Then she has sleep regression. She's not sick. She's healthy, beautiful, and I love her. She sounds like my daughter in law, especially with the second one. I wish I could go back and never have her. Every day makes me want to peel my skin off. She cries nonstop all day, unless she's asleep, and with the regression, she barely sleeps at all. I've started shaking in terror every morning before I get up at the thought that I have to start over. Every day is the same nightmare. It feels like I'm in hell. And yes, she sometimes smiles at me and she coos and it swells my heart with love. I kiss her chubby cheeks all day, and when she falls asleep in my arms, I want that moment to never end. But this my experience has been so incredibly traumatizing and isolating. I've never felt more exhausted and miserable in my life. And my husband is so happy. He's such an involved and loving father. He's so supportive and helpful, and he's still my best friend. But my daughter is so all consuming, we barely have time for each other. That will change, hon. That will change. We've had sex once in almost 6 months. That's not completely unusual either. It's not for lack of wanting. I feel like such an ugly, terrible person. It's not like I want her to be gone. It just would be a devastating thing that could ever happen. I wish I'd made a different choice. I hate my life now. I miss my old life. I wish I never had my daughter. I wish I never wanted to be a mom. I wish I had realized I was too weak to be a good mother. I feel like I'm drowning. And then I realize I may have PPD, postpartum depression. That was my first thought. This is something more than just being unhappy. The problem is postnatal psychologists are rare in my country and did not include it and not included in insurance. I can't afford any therapy outside of my insurance, so I have no way of dealing with this, at least not on the medical side. You can go to a non-PPD therapy. You can go to any therapist. They should be able to help you. We don't even have those things. I've never even heard of a postnatal therapist. We just go postnatal psychologist. We just go to the regular ones. I really didn't expect so many people to reply so kindly to my post. It honestly made me cry. I'm so grateful to everyone who bothered commenting. Sometimes it can feel so isolating, especially when you don't have a village who can help. I love my daughter and I trust things will get better. Today was a breaking point. I called my husband and he pressed that we should pay for therapy, even if it's out of our budget. So I guess I'll be starting therapy soon. I don't know if it's postpartum PPD, just like my baby, and I'm extremely emotional person. And to add the sleep depression, the overstimulation, the isolation, I'm sure it's taken a toll. Regardless, I'll be seeing a specialist about it soon. Good. Edit 3, I'm now genuinely in awe of all the empathy, love, and support. The responses to this post, I could never have imagined how many people felt this way, and the responses have been so touching. I swear I have read every single comment, even if I didn't reply. And you have truly saved my life today. I've cried so much while reading all the comments, but I feel so much less alone. Parenthood is so hard, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Mega Monster says, reach out to your doctor if you haven't already. Yeah, even a regular doctor can help you. It doesn't have to be a specialist. Positive Bumblebee says, I'm sorry to hear it was okay to feel it and say it. Yep. You're allowed to feel your feels. Wise Wazer says you're not weak or bad mom for feeling stressed and sleep deprived. Constant loud sound is used as a torture method. So is lack of sleep. Do you have the option of having a nanny come over while you rest? Can your mom come and watch the baby while you go to a hotel alone or with your husband? You sound like you really, really, really need a break. Yeah. Opie says, my mother helps whenever she can, but she says she has her own life. Well, that's rude. So I can't always count on her, but we can't afford a nanny. We're not in the US, and that kind of service can be really expensive. Next we have Mother-in-Law's from Hell and is entitled Mill's Feeling Sick. Sick. What is it with some mother-in-laws suddenly saying they don't feel well and don't want know what's wrong, but that they must be sick whenever their son starts to set boundaries or stop talking to them? DH's response is drink some water and take an Advil. And if that doesn't help, make an appointment with your PCP because I'm not one. She starts crying. Yeah. It's just your mother-in-law being manipulative. This is interesting as Wang. This girl was practicing a charge, but the cat thought it was a sign of affection. Do this. And then that, and then share. It's a little goat and a big old cat. A big goat and a big old cat. Aw, it's so sweet. I love it so much. I'm gonna teach the goat. Oh, and the goat should be laughing. That goat is so small. That is the cutest tiny goat I've ever seen. He is so cute. Here comes another little tiny goat. It's even smaller. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. I can't stand it. Cuteness overload. Next is Am I the A-hole? And is entitled AITA for getting my stepdaughter a Hogwarts letter for her 11th birthday. I've been married for 4 years. My wife had a daughter from a previous relationship. My stepdaughter has been obsessed with Harry Potter since before I met her. She literally asked me if I liked Harry Potter when I met her. Her 11th birthday was yesterday, and I arranged for a letter to be delivered during her birthday party, and it was admittance for a letter to Hogwarts. Okay. I don't understand why it's giving me a warning. Why is it giving me a warning? Don't know. Go away. Go away. Just sharing something. I wasn't like stealing it. If you want to know what's wrong, I'm glad to tell you. I thought it was a really cute idea. My stepdaughter started freaking, screaming, "It's real, it's real," and really went nuts. Some of her friends seemed to join in the excitement, others less so. Her mother, my wife, um, held her to calm her down and explained to her that it wasn't real. It was just a joke set up. Stepdaddy played on you. That's mean. It wasn't a joke. She started crying and screamed that she hated me and ran to her room. The other parents seemed to sympathize. One father said he thought it was a nice idea. I think it's a nice idea. Okay, what am I? But after we sent everyone home, my wife yelled at me and said that what I did was selfish and cruel, and she couldn't believe I would hurt her daughter like that. Was I wrong to do this? Was it an inappropriate gift for an 11-year-old? 11-year-old knows that Hogwarts isn't real. And if your kid thinks Hogwarts is real, you have issues. I really didn't mean to mock her or hurt my stepdaughter. I thought it would be fun. It didn't occur to me my stepdaughter was young enough to think it was real because she's not. Am I the a-hole? No, this is a really nice thing to do. If your 11-year-old thinks Harry Potter's real, you have issues. Glum System says, NTA, the 11-year-old should know without question that Harry Potter is fake. Your wife is the a-hole for saying it's a trick, not helping your daughter understand books for yelling at you. I will talk about guns. Says, honestly, it sounds like your daughter is intellectually challenged. I don't know of any 11-year-old that still thinks books and movies are real. Before anyone asks, yes, I know not a lot of 11-year-olds, since I have an 11-year-old myself and I'm involved in his life, taking him and his friends everywhere. They do think YouTube pranks and other clearly staged videos are real, but then again, some adult Redditors believe the same, but Harry Potter, no chance. Some of those pranks are real, and they're mean. Carrick says, NTI, particularly because of the last line. You had nothing but good intentions because you thought she was old enough to understand that Hogwarts is fictional and that would be a cute reference to the series. I'm with you, and I also assume most 11-year-olds are typically grown up enough to understand reality versus fictional worlds. And an pessimistic wife for saying it was a joke. You were playing on her, though, rather than using a softer, you were playing pretend. She made it seem like a mean prank, which led to the kid being even angrier. Your wife is the a-hole here. Exactly. Why would she think it was real? It's weird. Drunken Scientist quoted it was just a joke stepdaddy played on you. I'm not loving this explanation for Mom. There's a better way to say it's not real Hogwarts except sentence letter. You had great intentions, and I don't think you knew beforehand she would actually think this was real. NTA. This would be great combined with a trip to Paramount Studios in Florida where, they have the Hogwarts thing. That'd be awesome. The Paramount, or is it something else? I can't remember. Next, we have Overheard, entitled Shaved Legs. Conversation at the pool with one brother to another. One boy to another. Boy 1, age 13. Man, my legs are getting so hairy. Boy 2, age 10. Why don't you shave your legs? Boy 1, guys don't shave their legs. Boy 2, wait, what? You don't shave? Boy 1, no, dude, are you telling me you shave your legs? B2, boy 2, you're not supposed to? Boy 1, no, dude, guys don't shave their legs. Boy 2, well, swimmers do. Swimmers shave their legs. Boy 1, dude, you barely float. Let him shave his legs if he wants to. Mike says some of the most brutal and honest conversations come between barely pubescent boys and barely post-pubescent boys. Dream Seduce says nobody's ready for that conversation. And QSA says, you know what? Boy 2 should be the change he wants to see in the world. Amen. Next, we have Tear Off My Chest, and it is not safe for work, so be warned. Says, I don't ever think I'll tell my girlfriend what happened today. Today I came home from work and experienced something that has absolutely destroyed me emotionally. I catch the bus home. I got home about 3:40. My girlfriend left for work at not 11:40, so I know the exact time because we have a camera at our front door. She messaged me earlier saying she was running late. I was walking up her driveway and noticed a possum staring at me while lying in the middle of the driveway. So I actually stopped and took a photo because my first thought was, oh God, I have to tell my girlfriend let my girlfriend know my girlfriend know we have a new friend. Then I noticed the flies around. The possum wasn't just sitting there and been run over by a car. Oh, that's so sad. It would occasionally try to move, but could only slowly shuffle around the same spot. It couldn't move its back legs, and there was a visible dent running down the middle of its body. So it's sitting there suffering. That's so sad. Oh, I'm gonna skip some of it. Called Wildlife Rescue. I finally worked the courage to go inside. They told me someone would be out in 30 minutes. He turned off the cameras and deleted the recording from when he came home. I realized I can't tell her what happened. The thought of her finding out she accidentally hit the possum would absolutely destroy her. She loves animals and she's a very sensitive person. She would blame herself for something that she never knew had happened. Oh, I cried multiple times while waiting. Oh, jeez. These people are so sensitive. It's so sweet. The sweetest elderly volunteer couple arrived. The woman gently picked up the possum and held it like a baby. While she confirmed it couldn't be saved, I cried again. After they left, I completely lost it and sat in the house bawling my eyes out. The thing that shocked me the most is I haven't cried like that since my mom died 5 years ago. I'm glad you had a good mom. I know my girlfriend would never have done this intentionally and has no idea it happened. But I can't stop thinking about that poor possum spending its final hours alone on our driveway, struggling to move while a busy street full of people pass without noticing. I really don't know why I'm posting this. I just need to tell somebody. Well, I mean, correct sub for getting stuff off your chest. I think you're very kind for not telling your girlfriend this. Um, I think you're very sweet for crying about a wild animal. My mother-in-law once hit a rabbit while we were driving. She happened to be the one person driving at the time. She cried for like an hour afterwards. The good Mexican says it's an overreaction. Animals dying is extremely sad, and they got downvoted. So good. Nia Mora says insane people crash out in this comic section over what appears to be a man with empathy. By the way, possums and opossums are not rodents. They are not common carriers of disease. They're marsupials. They are sentient. If you think a marsupial is sentient, the rats and the rodents also are. Also, bunnies are rodents. And when suffering for many hours over something is avoidable, it's car running over them is something to be sad about. Katie says, my friend, I'll keep the secret with you, and I cried with you, good soul. Yes, exactly. Next we have What Do I Do? It's also not safe for work. It's titled, I cried during sex and now my fiance is giving me the cold shoulder. Last night, me and my fiance had a date night, and by the end of it, usually ends in having a fun time. However, last night we had a deep conversation. I expressed to him how I'm really anxious about the second forensic interview with, I believe, a federal agent. Apparently, is going to be very triggering than my previous interview, and I'm not looking forward to it. And I've been emotional about it all week. I don't feel comfortable talking about what my ex is in trouble for, and what he did to me, and why I need a forensic interview. Every time I do open up about it, no one ever believes me and causes me to spiral. But just know he's my son's bio dad, and he was abusive. Me and him had a long conversation about it, and I ended up crying to him about it. We really connected, and it led to us making out and then having sex. I don't know what got into me, but I just started crying while we were in the middle of sex. And once he realized I was crying, he stopped and asked why I was crying. I told him I was just thinking about a lot and that he can keep going to get himself off. So he had permission to finish. He didn't feel right about doing that, and he just gets up and sits in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, and he comes out. He wasn't sitting, and tells me he will sleep on the couch and that he needs space. Okay, that is weird. I cried myself to sleep because I'm so broken. I can't have sex with my fiance without getting triggered in some way. Sounds like your boyfriend was triggered. You're fine. This morning he made me breakfast and kissed me. However, he still gave me the cold shoulder and not really wanting to have a conversation with me. I asked if we could talk about last night, and he said no, we should just forget about it. But it feels like he hasn't forgotten about it and is holding a grudge. He left to go biking with his cousins. He told me he loved me before he left. But he hasn't been texting and checking like he normally does, so I don't know what to even do. And I want him to stop treating me like this. I think I want to initiate sex again tonight and see if that will help. But according to ChatGPT, why are you asking something that's never going to have relations with anyone what to do in a situation? It's dumb. What do I do? Go to counseling. That's what you do. You need to go to counseling. So she did try and initiate, and he wasn't comfortable, but he was hurt because he felt like I wasn't thinking about because I was thinking about my ex during the deed with him. He doesn't want to break up, but he wants me to focus on the forensic interview and then our life. I feel more horrible because it's the first time he turned me down. We did another update. They finally did the deed, and he seemed very happy and told me it was good. I'm kind of better now, so I guess our issue is solved now. First up comment is quotes, but according to ChatGPT, and it says, "Please don't ask the robots about relationship advice and emotions. This is way too dystopian." Exactly. Uh, Chair says you have a lot going on, and he's probably overwhelmed. It's only been a day. Give it time. Do not ask ChatGPT for advice again. Yeah, don't ask ChatGPT for advice about anything really. Anything that matters. Anything that doesn't involve data. If it involves data, it's right, maybe half the time. Maybe. It lies a lot. All of them do. Next, we have entitled parents entitled Mom Threatening to Take My Car. WTH. Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if this is the right sub, but I don't know where else to vent. I'm quite frustrated and stressed. Apparently, since I refused to go to church to be a better daughter, my mom threatened to take the car and leave me carless. I'm 26. We both co signed on the car. The DMV papers and the title does say or in between our names. The thing is, the insurance is under her name, and my name doesn't appear at all for insurance. However, I pay for everything car notes, service, insurance every single month. We have State Farm. So get it changed. Get changed in your name. I don't know what to do at this point. My car is all I have, and she knows I've had my car struggles. It's taken a lot to get this new car of mine. It's the first ever reliable car I've had. I'm already in the process of trying to find housing elsewhere, and I'm couch surfing for safety. The last thing I need is my mom going psycho on me and taking my car. What can I do in this situation? I should add, since being laid off, unfortunately, my finances and credit are not in the best state, so I can't really do much with refinancing or selling and buying a new car. I'm also trying to find safe, secure housing at the same time going through housing programs. Colonial Clank says, get your own insurance on it in your name. Exactly. Caldwell says, first step would get the insurance under your name. I'm reading the rest of it. Guardian North says, refinance the car in your name only and put insurance in your name. If that's not possible, you're going to need to go to church. Ew. Poor girl. Next is Oh No Consequences, and it's entitled OOP's boyfriend and idiot friends test her. OOP tells his boyfriend over it, and he gets angry. This was originally in it's from Best of Brother Updates. Original post November 7th, 2015. Hi, relationships needs some outside. Hi, relationships. It must have been in relationship advice or something. Need some outside perspective on a small but weird problem. I've been getting this guy Sam for about 3 months now. Just recently made it official, and I met his friends on Thursday. Sam's awesome, and his friends seemed awesome too, or so I thought. It's not going. Really got to fix that. I don't feel like it's been too hot. It's way too hot today. So there's that. We were all hanging out, playing some games, watching Netflix, etc. on Thursday, having come back from the local bar. It was a good time and we were all having fun. Then Sam left the room. His friends almost immediately started talking crap about him. They were ragging on his appearance, calling him a loser, etc. It made me very uncomfortable. They tried to get me to join in, and I kept brushing them off. They persisted, so I finally told them to knock it off and informed them I would be telling Sam all of this. They got quiet and then Sam came back. And they tried to go back to just hanging out. I was so pissed off that I was going to bed and went to Sam's room. Sam came in about half an hour later and asked me if everything was okay. I told him that his friends were talking crap about him. It pissed me off. I said I don't know I had no right to tell him who to be friends with, but I think he should ditch them. And then he did something that totally threw me off. He grinned. I asked him what he was smiling about, and that's when he told me the following. Apparently, they do this with every girl Sam meets to test her, to see if she'll talk crap behind his back. If she does, he dumps her. If not, hooray, Sam's in on it. He says it's pretty harmless. He says I'm the first girl to have told him about what happened, which means I'm the best. I'm inclined to agree. It's harmless, but I find it weird. Am I right thinking that this is strange? This is something normal? Do all guys do this? No. No, all guys do not do this. I need to keep first perspective, thanks. Top comments. Girl Pope says, your boyfriend still has a lot of growing up to do. This is high school level stuff, and you need to decide if you want to date a child or do you want to move on and find a real man. Deleted says, well, he may have passed his test, but he sure as crap failed yours. Why would you want to be with someone who's going to set you up like that? Roaming Amber says, wow, you may have passed, but Sam and his friends failed miserably. Setting people up in uncomfortable and made up positions is not only mean and childish, it's also unrealistic and pointless. You don't lie to people to gain the truth. Your mileage may vary, but I'd be moving on from people who feel the need to manipulate me and put me through stress for their own benefit and amusement. Update November 8th, the next day. Hello again. Wow, my post blew up yesterday. Thanks for everyone for the advice. Sorry I didn't get to respond to anyone, and I posted it a while on my break at work. I had no time to do so. I thoroughly appreciate all of you taking the time to comment. You're all radiant unicorn moonbeams, and you're awesome. Everyone pretty much at Nanos has said Sam is a dick and B dumped the dick. This confirmed my suspicions, but I figured I'd talk to Sam about it anyway, just to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm nice like that. Well, long story short, A, Sam is really and truly is a dick, and B, the dick has been dumped. Conversation lasted all of 5 minutes before he started getting defensive. The climax was him calling me a bitch for not being grateful that I passed this stupid test. And I said at that point, yeah, it's over. I may have passed your test, but you failed mine. Thanks, Roaming Amber, for that line. And I walked away. He tried to blow up my phone, but I nipped that in the bud by blocking him. So yeah, thanks everyone for helping me dodge a massive bullet bill-sized bullet. Much appreciated. Y'all are a bunch of beautiful sunlit diamonds. White boy says, I'll be honest, if you ever do one of those stupid tests on your partner, you deserve to be dumped. Oh, he died to a bullet. 100%. Ian says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you want your relationship to last, do not play games with your partner. Do not test your partner. Do not seriously prank your partner. If you find that you have done one of the above, be compassionate and understanding when they inevitably get pissed about it. Lori adds, do not DNA test your children unless you're testing both parents to ensure the hospital sent you home with the right babies. I can appreciate that. Next is best of Birder updates for real. Entitled, my 23 female boyfriend, 25 male, keeps asking me to shave my hair. What did she call it? My private box hair. And I'm losing my mind. I mean, this was originally posted to relationship advice. I say go for it. You might like it. You might find just you like it. So this is not safe for work, obviously. So guys, just be warned. I've been dating my boyfriend Alex for about a year. Now for some background. I'm completely okay with people having preferences around they and their partner's hair situation. But I've made it a point since I was 20 to let my partners pretty soon into hangouts that I don't shave or wax. I used to do it all the time when I was a teenager and left me with a bunch of ingrown hairs, rashes, and pain. Well, okay, you have a legitimate reason for not wanting to do that. I realized I was doing it solely for the other person and for some hair on myself. I do trim. I let a potential partner hook up as soon as sex comes up. that if they are not okay with dating someone with hair, I appreciate that, but we're not compatible. When Alex and I started talking about sex, I told him the exact same thing. He told me there was no issue and he didn't care one way or another. And I thought, great. And we began dating with no issues. He's the coolest dude I've ever met, and I was seriously considering moving in together and around 6 months into us dating. That is until around 3 months ago. He randomly brought up that he was talking with some friends about manscaping. I also prefer uh, hair on my partner, so I've never asked him to even trim. He does trim, but no shaving. They were saying how they were lucky that the girls they hooked up with were cleanly waxed slash shaved because um, womanscaping on women looked gross. Not womanscaping on women looked gross. He said he didn't agree with them that it was gross for women to have pubes, but that it was weird that he was the only guy with a girlfriend that didn't do that, didn't shave or wax. He asked me if I would oblige the request. I mean, it's pretty normal behavior nowadays. I told him that I was serious early on about not shaving, and he had agreed to be okay with that, and I told him I wouldn't shave. I thought that was the end of the convert, but nope. He's been bringing it around every other week. Every single time I've told him firmly that I will not shave or wax, and he has continued to bring it up. I asked him why the sudden interest in me being shaved, and he says he just thinks it's weird that I don't, when so many other girls do. Confession time. I do not shave under my arms most of the time. It does not bother my husband one bit. So it's a personal choice. It just when it starts to grow out and I can't stand it. I have sensitivity issues. I can't have my socks folded in my shoe. It's distracting and annoying. I may or may not shave other places. I'm at the point where I'm just sick of this and seriously considering breaking up. But most of my friends think I'm being unreasonable and should find another solution. What do you guys think? Um, Wing that guy. No, wait, don't wing that guy. He changed his mind like he was embarrassed after talking to his buddies. He obviously doesn't have any sense of self pride. Exactly. Seems like he would probably have troubles taking up for you and your at one time mutual decisions. Pubic hair is public hair is a perfectly fine, and if he has any issue, he can go find someone else. There are plenty of guys that don't care, and some prefer it. I'm sure there are guys that prefer it. OP says, OP says, I think honestly it's coming from a place of feeling embarrassed that he's the only one with a girlfriend that has hair. I'm trying to be understanding, but I feel like it's such a ridiculous thing to be okay with something and change your mind because of what your friends say. Yeah, he's prone to peer pressure, and that's not good. He's 25, he's not a teenager. Forgotten Escapist says, tell him that his pestering is becoming a huge problem. It's immature. If he is this affected by what other men think, he's not worth your time. Sit down and have a serious talk, and if he doesn't take your feelings seriously, then that's your answer. You should try to communicate because it's just important, but skill. But here's the thing: if you're already considering breaking up, that says everything. It's okay to leave a relationship with someone who's just not worth the fight. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Good luck. It's good that you've stood your ground. OP says I'm planning on speaking with him tonight, and hopefully it'll be a come to Jesus talk. I love him and I would like to continue dating him, but I'm bordering on breaking up because I do not understand why my no is not good enough, and also his reasoning is frankly super dumb. Even if many girls do it, that doesn't mean I should have to. She's correct. Just because somebody else does something doesn't mean you have to. Update July 14th, 2020, 4 days later. I wasn't sure if this was worth updating to such a small post, but I'm frequent lurker on the sub, and I know I love all kinds of updates, so I figured I'd go ahead. I spoke to Alex on Friday night and basically just told him I need him to tell me the truth about what he was going on because I wasn't going to keep dealing with him asking me about it every week. I told him I love him, but he knew before we became official that I did not shave or wax, and I didn't understand why he became so insistent on it. His response was predicted by at least one of you. He said he was never actually okay with how I kept my area. He said that every girl he'd been with before was clean, his words, and then he decided to put up with hair because he wanted to date me, and that truthfully grossed him out every time he saw it. So this is not the guy for you, hon. He also said his friends would never consider dating a woman who didn't take care of herself. Again, his words. But then he wanted to look past physical because he thought I could be special. I was pretty shocked, to say the least, that he'd even frequently joke about with me about the porn industry's influence on grooming habits. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. I asked him why he didn't just tell me this as opposed to his ridiculous most girls do at argument. And he said that he just didn't know how to tell me the truth. I asked him if his plan was just to keep asking me until I gave in. He told me eventually he was going to tell me the truth. Long story short, I ended things. Good for you. You should not have to put up with these lies. I know it may be frivolous or petty to some people, but to me, it went beyond this preference for hair, or none in this case. He annoyed me with it for months and stuck to his stupid argument instead of being honest with me. To me, that shows immaturity. He's 25, not 19. That's a quality. That's not a quality I want in a partner. And also, I'm not sleeping with someone who thinks having hair makes me gross and unclean. At obligatory, didn't expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the super sweet messages. I'm really not an inspiration, though. Just a gal who's learning to put her body's health over her partner's comfort. To all of y'all telling me I'm going to die alone because I won't shave, I like my own company, so that's fine by me. But seriously, there are men and women of all ilks. You will find someone. Correct answers. I've always hated the clean argument, as if hair is inherently dirty. You're better off without the moron. Oh, P says, my skin looked awful and unhealthy when I was hairless and supposedly clean. I will take care of gross bumps and scratchy skin any day of the week. Someone's asking for a new flare on something, she said. That's cute. Stop thinking it's me. He says, you, quotes, you need to keep yourself clean. I don't. And question mark, question mark, question mark. Johnny Mayhem says, there was once an AITA where a male boss demanded female employees shave their legs because leg hair is unhygienic. If it's unhygienic for women, isn't it unhygienic for men? I'm just asking. But when I asked if he shaves his legs for the same reason, he responded, I don't shave my legs, that's different, or something to that effect. And somebody had the link to that. Apprehensive Crow says, if both women and men have it, and men are expected to do XYZ, then it isn't a hygiene issue, 100%. It's a social expectation for women that you are no other obligation to adhere to. Deodorant, brushing teeth, bathing, both genders are expected to do these things because it's a true hygiene issue. Shaving, waxing, shaving hair, waxing, wearing makeup, having your nails done. Men don't have to do it despite having hair, face, and nails, so it's not a hygiene issue. You have to cut your nails, though, because that's gross. Next whisper made me smile, and it's entitled Japanese fan came for the World Cup, tried Texas barbecue for the first time. It's got to be good. There we go.
How big is
That looks like some good meat. Holy cow.
That's your first ever bite of Texas barbecue. What do you think?
Amazing!
Hey, that's a shark.
I love it.
It's so good. That looks so good. That looks so good. All right, that's all I have for today. Join me tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be here at noon, the normal time, I think. The husband has a meeting tomorrow night, so he's not going to be home on time, much less early. So, today we're having spaghetti and meatballs. Anybody want some? So, have a good evening. Have a good morning tomorrow. Sleep well. I'm trying. I'm working on that. It's too hot. I'm hoping that yes, I really do normally wear glasses. I'm hoping that it that it cools off tonight so I can sleep. It's been horrible, horrible, horrible. All right. Have a good night, my biddies. I love you all. Take care. Bye. Bye.